And I remember crying for like, I don't know, a good half hour in my bed and my wife trying to console me and me just feeling like this is not the life I wanted for myself. This is so stupid. I'm so angry at myself. And really what helped me through that was, of course, working with you. Hi, I'm Alex Barker, former pharmacist turned weird entrepreneur. I run a career coaching company called The Happy PharmD, where we help pharmacists find and get jobs that they love. I've been doing it since 2017. I was in incredible pain as a professional pharmacist. I was working in a clinic, doing everything that I was told to do right, and I hated it. I hated my life. I hated what I had become. I felt betrayed by my own profession, and I didn't know what in the world I was going to do. I very quickly turned to coaching and the world of business for inspiration. And for like 4 years, I tried doing businesses. I got into a sticker franchise. I invested in oil and gas. I created a media company. I sold stickers on Etsy. I did a bunch of crazy stuff and it all didn't really work out. That's not true. I paid off my house before the Happy PharmD, but ultimately I finally confronted my shame about who I was, that I was a pharmacist who didn't enjoy being one. And I thought, there's probably others who feel like me and I could help them go through what I'm gone through, or what I went through. And so in 2017, I realized I need to be committed to one thing. I'm going to try a career coaching company business out. And by the end of that year, I had replaced my income through this business. And shortly thereafter, I quit my job. The business was tanking. I was following advice from other business coaches in the past that in order to grow my business, I needed to hire out. And because I'm a coach, I believe in people's potential, even when sometimes they don't see it. And I had hired really great people to be coaches in my program to take work away from me, who ultimately were trying their best, but really not competent. And basically, the business wasn't pulling in new clients. I had 2 salespeople that weren't closing deals enough. We were losing money. And on top of all of that, I was recovering from depression after losing my father. My dad was my best friend, and he died from a brain cancer about 1.5 years before working with you in Purple Circle. That was causing me such emotional pain that I kind of made a secret commitment to myself that I didn't want to be involved in my business. I wanted to just trust other people very blindly, naively, and it was incredibly painful to just think about my business. It was my baby. It was becoming a teenager by that point. And any problem that would happen, I would emotionally take it on and feel awful because of it. I would feel like I'm a failure because it's not getting the results that I wanted for my clients or for me. And so it was a very emotional, mental, difficult place to be in when I first started working with you. And I mean, it was all my own fault. I had created the company that I had, and I'm really glad to have gotten through that. It sucked. It sucked. What hurt the worst about my business was because it wasn't getting results, I felt like I was letting everyone down. I felt like I'm a failure because of their results. I was taking on their lack of progress as my own sense of justice. And so rather than thinking through logically, this is a business, if you're not getting results, then get out. I very much had the mentality of like people-pleasing father figure. I came from a toxic work culture where I was bullied and I hated it. And I never wanted to create a work environment where people feel threatened or people feel like they're not enough. And so instead of being diligent to follow through on people's results, I focused more on people's well-being, that they were doing well, that they were happy, that they were feeling like they were making a difference instead of results. I remember it was right when I think I either first started with you. I think it was like October. I had put in motion a bunch of plans to try to rescue the business. And one of the things I wanted to create was this webinar workshop model. And you and I had just started, so you didn't have anything to do with this. But there was a workshop that I had done, and I had like 6 people show up for and pay. And I got through it. And at the end of it, I just cried. I was like, are you kidding me? I have 30,000 followers on LinkedIn. I have an email list of over 10,000 people. have helped now thousands of people in my program, and I can only get 6 people to show up and buy. It was like a few $100 program. And I remember crying for like, I don't know, a good half hour in my bed, and my wife trying to console me, and me just feeling like this is not the life I wanted for myself. This is so stupid. I'm so angry at myself. And really what helped me through that was, of course, working with you, but really coming down to a new commitment for myself, which was I'm showing up to give results, whether it's for a client or for a team member. And I'm expecting that for everyone else on the team. And that fundamentally shifted now what my business is. It's all about results. And we've had to go through some hard stuff, you and me, Davis. Like, I've let go of probably like 10 people in the company who just weren't delivering. And that was hard. It was very challenging. I think the worst part about entrepreneurship is there's no way no one can prepare you for the emotional toll of unmet expectations. It's such a roller coaster ride of thinking that you have something, putting something out there, and then conflating the lack of results with, oh, now my team is going to disappear. Oh, this workshop didn't work out, and now I'm going to have to let go of all of my friends. I hate that feeling. I wouldn't say that it's 100% gone, but if it was 100% back in October of 2023, it's probably at like a 10 or 15% now in 2024. It's a world of difference. I don't feel that responsibility as much as I felt it then. 2 things helped me decide to work with you. 1 was your track record. And 2 was you emulate relationships the way I try to emulate. Something that helps me decide on working with someone is, what do other people say about them, and how do they interact with those people? How do they value relationships? At the end of the day, I didn't start a business to really get freedom, honestly. It was for relationships. It was for being around people that I liked way more than in my day job. And how you handle yourself, how you network, how you build relationships with people, I find is very similar to how I do it. Maybe I can't say it with confidence. Like, I have a pretty big platform in pharmacy and people look up to me. And so I found the way that people look up to me is similar to how I look up to you and what you've accomplished. And if I'm selfish, like, working with you was kind of betting it all on the house, putting it all out there and say, all right, it's do or die. We will shut down this business by February if I can't turn it around. And by January, we'd turn things around. So I don't think I'm a betting man, but I guess I like gambling on myself. I think my favorite thing is less emotional turmoil. I've become way more self-aware of how my emotions make me a bad leader, and I've been able to keep them in check. And that's probably my favorite win, because I'm just able to have way more fun now. I record how much time I work. The amount of time I've spent from Q1 to Q2 of this year, it's like 100 hours a month less. So I'm incredibly thankful because I feel like I have my life back. I have my time back with my kids. I feel freed up to think about things, which is what I really enjoy doing. I've been able to start new creative endeavors since the turnaround. I'm focusing only on the areas that I'm really good at versus I was spending so much of my time in the first couple of months just coaching and doing the work. It's childish, but my favorite thing about my life is I love having fun. And I feel right now very close to spending 80-90% of my time in my business just doing things that I find are fun. Whereas when we first started back in October, I think I was miserable 80-90% of the time. It was very tough. I don't know if you remember this, but I feel like it was just like 2 months ago, you showed me, I think it was like an exercise, like, what are the things that I should be doing in order to make our program successful or something like that? And everything on there was making me go, whoa, I can't believe we weren't doing that. Like, it made me disgusted. I was physically ill looking at the list of the things that we weren't doing. And it's wild to see that transformation. It's very, very helpful. Part of your program to be able to look back and see like how ugly things were in the past. Because as you know, when you're running your business, like sometimes your head's so far, head down to get work done that you don't look up to see like, oh, wow, this is totally different than where I was. And the team is too. The core team only has 3 of the original members members from 10 months ago. Me, Sarah, and Merge, oh, and her husband, John, 4. Everyone else, 7, 8 brand new team members, all hired based upon competency versus potential, like how I was doing. I'm very excited to move beyond my program. And so that means more speaking and teaching. I'm very close to barely being involved right now in my program, other than hosting a few workshops. I'm excited about launching smaller products that lead to our full ticket coaching program. There's so many things that I want to create, and I feel like I finally have now the space to lead into that. I'm very excited to get our team to doing like 2 sales a day. I feel like it's possible. I've seen it happen before, 1-day basis, but every day would be amazing, fantastic. Yes, I would highly recommend you join Purple Circle. I have to imagine that if you get in now, you're probably doing yourself a favor many years down the line. I know that my story is really impactful because I was in such pain and an awful situation to get to where I am now. But I think even if you've got aspirations of growing, what Davis, I believe, is going to help you out with is removing the BS ideas that you probably have or think are good and helping you narrow in and focus on the very few things that matter. My consistent problem with my business is that I'm far too creative to be very effective. And I convince myself that my ideas are so good that they're going to revolutionize my business. And a few have. I mean, I created the thing, but the truth is that when you're super creative, sometimes you choose things that are more of a distraction than impactful. And what Purple Circle really brings to the table for me is cutting away the BS and getting me to focus on like the 1 or 2 things that actually makes a difference. And honestly, the kind of fun part about that is, now I barely work Thursdays and Fridays, and I get to just spend that time now being creative, focusing on other things that I want to, which have led to keynote speaking engagements. Next week, I'm going to be on a cruise speaking. And had I not had that space in my week to allow for that, I wouldn't be enjoying the Bahamas next week with my wife, getting paid to do so. It's a pretty good deal. Would you put makeup on or shave your beard without a mirror? Probably not. Having a coach to help you with your business is like having a very powerful mirror. It helps you really see what you need to do to make the most progress. If you're a coach and you're not getting coached, that's like a doctor who says to a patient, I don't really believe in this medicine stuff, but tell me about your broken leg and I'll see what I can do. If you're a coach, you need a coach, in my opinion, because you don't know what you don't know. And you can't see outside of yourself unless you've got some amazing self-awareness to take your own eyes out of your head to see what you're doing. The reason why I would recommend Purple Circle above, I would say, other programs is that other programs that I've been a part of, because I've had many business coaches over the years, are very good at telling you what they think ultimately you should be doing. And I've followed other programs and it has led me down paths that I've not enjoyed. Heck, the reason why I was in that situation back in October was following another business coaching program. It led to bad results. And so what Davis has here is something very special that is not just based on his own company, but what he's learned from other companies, how he's helping other clients. And there's power and magic around a community of other people achieving the same goals. I've gotten to connect with lots of other coaches in Davis's program, and they're great people, not one stinker that I've met. Whatever your goal may be for your business, I think you'll get there eventually if you're dedicated. But if you want to play at a different level, if you don't want to be a high school wrestler, but you want to compete in the Olympics, you probably deserve the support to get there, because no Olympian would ever compete without a professional coach. In my opinion, the journey is a whole lot more fun with someone who's been where you're going and can help you get there quicker. It certainly is empowering and way more impactful to have that there.